All right, everyone, welcome to our Board of Finance meeting for the month of April. If you would all please rise and join us in the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God.
Today. Yeah. All right, roll call for our Board of Finance. Joe Bissett is excused absence. Ted Dumaine, also excused absence. Travis Irons.
Present.
Don Cavella. Thomas Sinkowitz. Gary Salaboy.
Here.
Scott Charwood. And David Saros is excused absence. Scott, you of course have voting rights. Acceptance of the minutes from our April 11th, 2018 meeting. Minutes have been posted. Any discussion on those minutes?
I move we accept them.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion accepted. All right, our first item under new business is to consider and possibly act on the Board of Education fiscal year 2018 budget in the amount of $689,361 to approve and send to a town meeting. One of the things before we have any questions or discussion on this, I wanted to give an opportunity to is we have our superintendent here in the audience. I know that our chair for Board of Ed has been feeling under the weather and is also going to be going on vacation soon, so she could not be here tonight. But Ken, if you have anything you would like us to consider before we further discuss and act on this, I wanted to give you the opportunity.
Well, I just appreciate that. We understand that this is something that's necessary because it's already been resolved, that the money has been reduced, given the fact that the state also cut support to ECS. So it's really a matter of just getting to the public so they understand that by readjusting the appropriation, it starts the base of our MBR back where it belongs. So I think you're taking the right step. I know you have to do it before you start a new budget, before they vote on it, so they understand that you're in alignment with MBR. We'll just communicate, once you make a date, to our membership that the clarity of what you're doing so they'll understand and participate. I know you need a quorum at a town meeting, and we always do our share to get you the quorum. So I appreciate it, and I know what you're doing. We understand.
Okay, thank you. All right, questions and discussion from our Board of Finance members on this item.
If it goes to the town meeting, it doesn't pass, what's going to happen?
Kelly will.
I've never done this before. This is something totally new.
Okay.
That was part of the new proposed budget, so, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's another $689,000 that we would have to come up with this fiscal year.
Yeah.
Yep.
40 has to go over, and go back and say 5%.
Correct. Yes.
And we arrived at this number because this is in alignment with the MBR.
Yes,
That's correct?
Yes.
Correct.
And we have a public hearing.
Yep, on May 7th. May 7th and May 21st, we have a town hearing, then a town meeting, potentially.
So by the time we get to the town hearing, we have pretty much everything set in stone. Almost. Do we have enough time to call
Yes.
have the meeting and everything?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and that actually is the next, as Kelly had mentioned, public hearing, not less than 14 days before the annual meeting, is 7 PM, Monday, May 7th. So, that's already set.
Do you guys want to try to do before the town hearing, before the town meeting? Do you want to do it after the town meeting?
Now with this, if this passes, that lowers the MDR.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so
before we'll-
the next time around, it would be what, 20 that we need to match, or wherever it is there.
I don't know the nature of the question.
He's talking about the new MBR, which we really don't know for fiscal year 2019 yet, it's still discussion.
That's
Yeah.
Any further discussion on this item?
Do you feel comfortable doing it after the town meeting, after the town hearing? Like, what date are you thinking? Because you're not going to want to do it Tuesday night just in case we're here every night for passing a budget. That's going to be every night.
How would this affect next year's budget, one way or the other?
In terms of if they act on it or not?
Yeah,
Okay, so I can only tell you that we will do everything to educate the public so they will support it. If for some reason something happened, whatever it was, it doesn't affect this year. We've already made the commitment. The Board of Ed voted, they changed the budget. The budget's been realigned. Just because you're telling them, if the people said, no, leave the budget alone, where it is, we're not going to spend that money. So it's not going to affect this year at all. Not in the fund balance or anything, because that's all settled. The issue would be if they didn't do this, your starting point would be 35,000,004 instead of 34,000,008. The problem would be the starting point for your next fiscal year. So we need to do it just in good faith to the public and in good faith the way we came to this agreement. So you supported the schools. The schools will make sure that the public understands this is a necessary step. It's a pen and paper exercise to make sure that the appropriation matches the amount of money that is being used by the schools. Don, I don't think there'll be any issue with the public. It doesn't hurt them, obviously. Financially, it does not hurt anybody.
Okay, thank you, Ken. Any other questions or discussion on this item? The date,
Yeah, I
yeah,
need a date.
that's right, we're gonna need.
What night of the week works better for everyone?
Wednesday.
Wednesdays?
Is it-
Oh, next Wednesday. 25th.
Yeah,
You don't have anything on the calendar now?
You have to have so many days to post it, so, yeah, so that's a week, that's 7 days.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
yeah, if that's enough, we'd probably be willing to go with that, if not, then,
May 2nd. It's gonna be the following Wednesday.
right.
I would say it's safer doing it May 2nd, just to make sure the posting's in a timely manner.
Right.
Okay.
What was that date?
May 2nd? It's a Wednesday?
6:30.
Yep.
there'll be a meeting, that'd be 6:30 or
Town meeting, would you say?
Town meeting, 7?
Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
7.
7, yeah. It's not a usual. All right, just to make this official and to make sure everyone understands that we're on board with this, now that we have a date, I'd like to entertain a motion to officially accept that.
Motion to that effect.
All right, so we have a motion to set the set date for, again, the cuts to Board of Education fiscal year 2018, budget amount in the amount of $689,361. Set the date for May 2nd, 2018, 7 o'clock. Do I have a second? Okay, we have a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Very good. Motion carries. Accept that date.
Mr. Stiglitz.
Yes.
Just a question for or to Kelly. So it sounds all perfect. Does the vote also have to include the adjustments to the town total? Because when you adjust the school by 694, the town can complete probation, so you have to have both on the docket at the same time.
It just,
I just don't want to see you miss a point.
no, I don't think so, because like when we vote on the budget, we vote the town says 500 and then the school's 300. If we were to reduce the school by, say, 100, 200, the net would be, you know, I think it's okay. Just town is what we're,
Yeah, no, that's a good point. All right, thank you, Ken. Our next item on the agenda, under new business, is to discuss proposed budget fiscal year 2018-2019. We have had our opportunity to meet with department heads. Personally, I want to just say I thought that was a very good meeting as far as our opportunity to ask questions, ask for clarification, and good representation from our department heads. And wanted to open it up to the Board of Finance if there was any other items that we wanted to discuss regarding the budget that we have not brought up. Any questions, clarifications, anything that's up for discussion?
Was there any movement on your meeting with Romantic Waste related to, I think that was coming pretty soon after.
We had the meeting, and it will take a couple of weeks for them to get back to us and let us know what they can do for us.
Again, maybe you can answer. When we sold the buses to DACO, right?
I'm sorry, we sold all the buses.
All the buses went to DACO and they're doing all transportation.
That's correct.
Okay. I noticed there's $131,000 in there for fuel
Yes.
in the budget. Are we paying for that fuel with that contract or not?
We disaggregated it because the rate DACO would have charged can fluctuate, but we actually buy our gas at a lower rate.
Right.
So, right, so we pay that separately, and that's on a line, it's added to our total transportation cost.
And that's been taken away from what DACO would charge?
Right, so when we bid it without the gas individually, because our experience in both
Right.
another district,
Right.
it helps the town.
Okay.
Kelly, on the, or Kathy, either one, I'm not sure who have the information, but, you know, back to the backhaul, 260, is that a firm price for buying it? Where did the 260 come from? Is that, do we know that that's what the cost of it is?
No, that's not the cost of it. That was the approximate. It depends what we add to it, what we need. It could go anywhere from 260 up to 360, 400, depending on what we put on it.
So this is like, instead of leasing it, I was thinking about it after that. Could we get financing for that instead?
oh, yeah.
To spread the
Yes,
payments out?
yeah.
You know, get
I
like a
normally go out-
7-year loan and. so
Usually
it's
go out
like
to a few-
50,000 a year versus
Yes.
80 versus.
Yes, you can do that, yes. Yep.
Because I mean, to me, that's what we should be presenting is a finance version of it, not a full cash version of it.
Yeah, that's,
Because we
yeah.
can get it down to 50, then that's 210,000 we don't have to put it into a tax increase.
Right.
Because as I said,
Well, on the budget, it's represented fund balance
yeah, I
usage, you know,
can,
so,
I know,
just so you know.
it's there.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
to reduce that. Okay.
I was looking to see if maybe Kyle was here, but some of the computer stuff, like I see that it's 180,000, but only 125,000 is mandatory, so I was wondering if you have 55,000 is something we absolutely positively have to spend this year.
55.
Yeah, because he's got it down to 180 total,
Mm-hmm.
and mandatory is either 125 or 126. So,
Yes, 126 it was.
I
We
mean,
want a
there's
reduction.
54,000, well, is it, how much of it's necessary? You know, and I understand, like, I look at a lot of the police department ones. Police department ones, I would say, would probably be the ones we would want to do.
Right.
But, like, 25,000 for a subcontract work, well, what's involved in that 25,000?
That's another firm that comes in and assists him when he needs it.
Right.
So-
I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Do
yeah.
we need it? You know, is it something we can trim out of that? Can we cut it in half? Again, just start saving some of the money, but, you know, and I, like I said, I would agree with a lot of the police department stuff. I mean, 5,000, 5,500 for an interview room, okay, I get, you know, that type of stuff, 2 new PCs, you know, that type of stuff I get. It's not on the mandatory list, but it's something that we can cut out of that. Even if it's
So
25.
subcontractors is what you're looking at.
Well, any
For
of this
reduce.
stuff, is there anything that Kyle thinks that we could possibly do at all that's not in the gray? Yeah, like the subcontractor, I guess would be one of them.
Right.
You know, is there 20,000 we can cut out of that?
I know we reduced it, like current year, like 25,000, we reduced his budget. So we did make reductions there. I don't know if anything more could come out of there, honestly, I don't.
Right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
asking, yeah. I should have asked him the other night, and I figured he'd be here tonight, so.
And honestly, that $25,000 stuff, that is a savings to us because we pulled, before we had that, and we were spending more money, excuse me, per year without contract. So that is a savings to us.
That 25,000 out of his budget?
It's out of computer budget,
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
correct, yes.
Oh, that wasn't like earmarked for a specific piece of equipment or
No,
anything that he was
no.
intended to buy?
No, just subcontractors.
So I guess one of the questions that I have for Kathy and Ken both is, you know, we brought it up a little bit the last meeting, I saw the bit where we might be, you know, you might be doing some work for Sterling, but is there anything that the school department and the town can combine to save money? By working together and either getting more buying power out of the contract, there's services that one department can help another department with to save hours. Is there
Well-
anything that the 2 years can work out where we can get a
Do you
savings?
mean the town and the school together, or do you mean the town individually?
Town and the
Because I am-
school.
I am working with NECOG, which helps us with different resources. As far as the school, I mean, we would have to meet on that, Scott, and it's really up to Ken and Ron.
Right.
If it's possible, if we could share maintenance, if we could share supplies, you know, purchase in bigger bulk.
Right, like I said, there's savings there when you do things like that. I don't know if anybody's got expiring contracts on, say, printers or, you know, anything like that, copiers. If you have expiring contracts, if you put both the town and the school together, you go and you have someone negotiate that, you save money. You know, so I mean, if we could just look at all that stuff, if you and Ken can get together and look at that stuff, I think it would be important at this point in time.
Well, previous to my accident, Ken and I had met numerous times. We have not met since I've been back, but we will meet again.
Yeah, I mean, I just think stuff like that, if we can start making some money out of it, you know, even if it's $5,000, $10,000, again, it's $5,000, $10,000 that we're not spending. Because, you know, I've said it before, at this point, I can't see passing along $1 million to townspeople. It's, you know, you talk to them and things like that, and, you know, you have the elderly who's only on social security, who aren't getting pay raises, you know, out of social security. And here we are, we possibly could be raising their taxes. You know, just everyday people, the same thing, you know, people are still, as much as the economy is better, people are still getting laid off, people are getting told to take pay freezes, it's just nature of the beast, and it's unfortunate, so to pass along a tax increase, it makes it tough on people. So we've got to look at everything that we possibly can.
Thank you, Scott. Any other comments?
So I guess the question for me would be, with some of these other moving parts that we're discussing, like financing the backhaul, and, I mean, does that correlate into us seeing a revised budget, or?
The backhaul was from the fund balance, so it's not going to affect your mill rate.
Okay.
But it saves you from going into.
Yeah, I agree with you,
practice.
yes, yeah,
Right,
I agree with
that's
that.
what I'm trying to-
Yes, we could do that,
Because
definitely.
we-
We can do that,
we
that's,
don't wanna
that's
go into
not,
it.
you know,
No,
we
right.
could do that, that's good.
Yeah, you know, is there something we could do for the school? So Ron, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is it 91,000 you had for capital expenses for like the asbestos? I mean, now, let's see again, so that would be something I would say, have the 91,000 out of the school, take 91,000 out of the fund balance, because it's not that much money, and pay for those asbestos removals and whatever he had on that short list. To me, you take, you know, better to do that than again, pass it into the budget as a tax increase at this point. It's not like we're talking taking, you know, 500,000 out and tell them, hey, go fix this. You take out 91,000, you give it to them, and then at least it's not 91,000, it's 91,000 less of an increase that you're gonna be trying to pass on to the town in tax increase. You know, again, it's not that big of, to me, it's not that big of a dollar figure to do something like that to help the school out.
We just have to keep in mind how long it's gonna take us to make up the $1 million we took
No,
out.
I understand.
Because
but
next
that's-
year's budget, when we have our back tax revenue, you're not gonna have that going into the fund balance anymore. It's gonna be to absorb the mill rate.
Right.
So
No, I
if you
understand.
collect 97%, you guys will be good.
Right. I'm just, you know,
Yeah.
you gotta look at some of these things though, because again, if we stand in front of the town in a couple of weeks and we say,
Right.
you know, we'll look for $1 million increase,
Right,
it's not gonna pass.
right.
And then let's just say if it did, and then what happens if the government comes back and cuts us $1.5 million? Now we're going right back to cut. I'd rather start with a base, have less to cut.
Correct.
Time. No fun.
No, and certainly you bring up valid points there, Scott, that we also want to try to not keep depleting our fund balance. And actually, even though we may not be required to, look into replenishing in different ways. Again, not easy, especially when we're in these type of situations, but something that we need to think about and consider.
So Ken, and I know you can't answer me, so, but just, I want to pass the thought along. So I know you're going to talk to the unions and stuff, but again, I know you can't give me answers on what's going on because it's negotiations, but, you know, my feeling is if we said we have to cut $1 million, let's say that then we as the Board of Finance said, hey, you know, we need the Board of Ed to cut 600,000. And I'm not saying that's what we're doing, but would, you know, one of the thoughts with the unions would be, if they don't take a full pay freeze, would they take a half a year pay freeze? If your raise is a $450, can you get them to take a half a year for $225? You know what I mean? I'm just a suggestion, just an idea, you know, to throw out there in case you weren't thinking of that, but just, you know, and again, I know you can't answer me, so. Not really a question, just a suggestion. Kathy, did we have any luck with MECOG the other day with the transit? And again, it's only 12,500 in the budget, but it's 12,500. Did we keep putting in every year and then it goes nowhere for that
With
transit?
the transit, what we're gonna try and do is John Filczak is going to try and get a meeting with Senator Blumenthal, Joe Courtney, and Senator Murphy, and we're gonna try and do it as a 2-year pilot program, because to do it for 6 months or a year really isn't long enough to find out if the program's gonna work or not. And if we can get it to be a 2-year pilot program, then we'll get funding for that.
And how long would it take them to know that?
Well, like I said, right now, John is gonna put the meeting together with all of us, so I can't tell you. I will be speaking to him again at the beginning of next week, so hopefully he'll have some answers for me.
Any other suggestions, questions? Nope. Okay. I have nothing, so we will move on to the next item, which is citizen participation. So anything that was discussed, are there any questions, comments, concerns from our citizens in the audience? Yes?
Hi, good evening, Laura Stigall. I just had a question going off what Scott was saying. It's really hard to hear without the mics when we're over here, so we're really straining. But just curious with the schools and the town hall. Are you eligible to use state contract pricing? And do you utilize it? Because when I worked for a nonprofit, I mean, first year I used state contract, I saved them $1 million, and most of that was through office supplies. I mean, they had the prices, I don't know if it's being utilized to the schools, and you could do one contract to the town, the schools together. I think that's what Scott was saying, like with the copiers, the state contract pricing, with the schools, I mean, office supplies, just anything that we used. And like I said, I was the first one that used it with that, because we were eligible, and that first year I saved $1 million. And UCFS is not that big, you know, it's a lot bigger, it's a lot bigger now than it was 9 years ago, but that's when I started utilizing it. So I don't know if we do that here in town,
Yes,
with the schools and that you do.
yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. And also I wanted to ask, I think Scott also had said something about the union, negotiations with salaries and that. Is that open to the public? And how do we find out when those negotiations are, or salaries negotiations with the town or schools? I know there's a few people been asking. I thought it had to be posted, I heard. I never heard what was gonna
In
happen.
regards to school contract, yeah.
The formal negotiations is in the cycle for the next year. So if a crisis were to come up and we need to do that, and we can speak to the generic part, what happens is you go back to every union and you ask, what are the possible concessions that could be made? You know, is there a freeze, is there a partial freeze, any one of those combinations? And the only reason why we don't deal with the specifics is you have to go in good faith bargaining, so you have to allow things to come to the table. But also because whenever a union comes, they say, I would give you this for that tomorrow. And we always have to be worried about what the tomorrow is. You can't get a zero now for 3% next year because there is no 3% the following year. So that's the kind of negotiations. Those parts, just so you understand, anytime negotiation is in any educator, the teachers or the administrator, it goes before the town publicly for 30 days where the town can accept or reject that proposal. So any negotiation done with an education body, such as the teachers, the largest cost, and the administrators, one of the costs, that has to be approved at the town level within 30 days.
That includes residents to put their say in that,
Residents
or?
get to review it.
And I also, with the police department as well, I was just curious, so anybody in those that negotiate their salaries, I heard that they had to be posted 30 days prior to them being negotiated, and that the public was allowed to go to those meetings to disagree, agree, I don't know. That's why I'm asking, it's been asked on many different
Not to
levels.
those meetings, the provision in law, so we negotiated a year ago, that's why we have another year, the teacher's contract. When it was done, we signed it and the board approved it. At the point they did, we sent it to the town for 30 days to be reviewed. And I know that prior to my coming here, which was 2010, the administrators hadn't approved a contract, but it was brought to the town and rejected. So then it went to arbitration, and then it got resolved there. So the process does exist for the public to give input on the administrators and the teachers. Custodians, secretaries, those are more hourly wage
Right.
employees, and those are not subject to override by a town. That's something. that-
Right, just more the
Fiscal
union type, right,
yes.
contract.
So you're partially correct. There is a public review process. It's after you can get to a yes on the part of the.
So how do we find out about that information?
It is done publicly, so.
So it's done in the newspaper?
We do it through.
I don't know, how do we find out about it, is what I'm curious.
Okay.
And that's, I'm just not just talking about the school, I'm talking about the police, the town, and the school, all of them.
I don't negotiate them.
I can answer for the police.
Okay.
For the police, the union selectman then obviously has it reviewed by her and the town's attorney, and then the union and the selectmen come to an agreement and the contract is signed. I don't know anything about, from what you're saying, about a 30-day grace or a period of being reviewed by the citizens. That's negotiated typically with the body of the union and the selectmen we elect.
Okay.
That's just mine.
Because I know we've all heard all different stories, and that's why we're all trying to find out. We've asked different people, and nobody has an answer. So I was hoping with a bunch of different people here tonight.
No, you're right, the process.
Right.
What you just explained
Yeah.
is how all the town unions get negotiated through the first selectmen
Okay.
and the unions, and that's it.
I didn't know other.
Yeah, they're the same
departments.
same process.
So there's no public output on those, but only the schools in a sort of way?
No, not that I know of, no.
Okay.
Not for the town.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions, citizen participation.
Yeah,
Yes.
June Gagny. I have a question about the, you mentioned Willie Waste, and you're going to be renegotiating with Willimantic Waste. There were 183,000 for the passes this year, and I think Louisa said that 922 were given out,
2,000.
and there were 2,000, right? Are they all paid for?
Yeah, when the residents come in for a pass, they get a sticker. And
Right,
it's
we-
part of, yeah, it's part of the budget, the number that you see for bulky waste. It's part
Okay,
of that
so are the
budget
other
number.
1,078 roughly stickers, are they already paid for the whole year?
Yes, yes.
Is there any way you could offer them to just use them up? If they're already paid for, just use them up.
Before the end of June.
Before the end of the
30th is
year,
what you're saying.
offer them for a cleanup campaign. You know, we've got how many Saturdays left before July that they're used up? Just so that, you know, the money's not wasted. Maybe let people that even already had one sticker and used the 4 visits, get another one, just to use, just a
Well,
little
you
bit of...
figure they only have 4 visits, so we really can't tell them when to use their 4 visits. They pay, well, they don't pay, but their pass is for 4 visits. So going from 18 visits to 4 visits, and now if we're going to tell them you have to use your 4 visits within this time, what if that
Oh, you're
doesn't
gonna-
fall within their time that...
You're going to make it so that you could still use them after July, or just...
When they come in to get their sticker,
Right.
it's for a year, so they have to get a sticker.
Right,
every
right.
year.
We get one every year, but this time I was thinking there were so many left over that we already paid in our taxes, that if we could just issue them, let people know they can come and still get them.
So like a reminder.
Yeah, still come and get them, even if you've already used up your 4 visits, come and get them because they're out there. And we paid for them, that's all. It's just a little housekeeping thing
Yeah.
I was thinking of.
Don't we only pay when people bring trash?
No, no, it's not trash, it's always bulky waste.
Well, that's what I
And
mean.
in our budget here, it says 200,000, and then every resident can go 4 times. So we have stickers in town clerk's office.
Yeah.
So every resident can go, household can get a sticker.
Every year on here.
So she's saying there's a lot of residents that haven't gotten a sticker yet. So just to remind them if they want to come get a sticker, because we already paid for that service, because we pay every month on it. Yeah, you don't pay as they go.
Maybe have a
It's
cleanup
one lump
campaign
sum.
or something,
One lump
say-
sum we pay.
Oh.
Yeah, well, like Jewett City
Yeah,
is doing
that's
a
how it
cleanup
works.
day. So maybe we could do that, and everybody come and get a sticker out to them, and then they can take the garbage they find on the side of the road, or the bulky waste on the side of the road, or in the yards, or wherever, and bring it to the dump, if they have a sticker, so that same day maybe, because I know we've been doing it as private citizens, there's been some kind of little campaign going on Facebook to get us to come out there and clean the town up ourselves, and so, you know, maybe we could even incorporate that into what we have on Facebook to remind people as well to come get a sticker, so not the garbage, but the bulk waste that you pick up, that maybe you could possibly bring it down to the dump. Is that kind of what you're saying? Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a good idea.
Is Sue still there?
Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Yes?
Art Gagnon. If you were confused with that, I think she was saying, because there's 2,000 stickers out there, you know, to begin with, only 900 were given out. So they're just sitting there wasted. Just offer them, even to, if I used up my 4 passes already, offer me another sticker, just to, you know, so you don't waste up 90,000? My question was about the dates. May 2nd, May 7th, is May 2nd another meeting? May 7th a town meeting? Or what was that? I didn't
So May
understand.
7th is the public hearing.
Right.
That's on our budget calendar.
What was May 2nd?
So May 2nd was the date set for Board of Ed reduction, yeah.
Is that a meeting? What is that?
Yes, it'll be a town meeting.
Town meeting,
Town
yeah.
meeting,
Okay, so there's a town meeting the 2nd and the 7th?
yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? No? All right, very good. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Can we, can you guys make a motion of what you're going to go out to the town hearing with? Are you going with the proposed budget, 29.49 mils? Because the next meeting you guys have is a town hearing where you will be discussing the budget. are you going out with this, what was proposed in front of you? Because we need to know.
So I move with going to.
All right, so all right, so before we close.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, back up here. I have a motion to go with our proposed mill rate. So is there a second?
And just for clarification, that's the 29.4.
Yes, thank you.
It's going to a public hearing.
Going to public hearing, right. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Well, yeah, then we're going to say discussion.
Yeah, any discussion? Yes.
So, if we go to the town meeting with that, that doesn't mean we can't change it after the fact, correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Then I'll second that.
All right, any other discussion? No? All right, second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
This way it was,
All right, motion carries.
this way people can give their opinion on it.
Right.
What would you?
Right. But
Okay. Any other items before we adjourn?
the only thing, Captain, Kelly, if you can, no, like I said, it's like I'm back to the door. Never mind. I was going to ask you about the backhaul.
Well, I can do some research on it.
Well, also, look, yeah, I would do some research so you had the answers. I'm sure it's going to come up with town meeting.
Yes.
So,
I
yeah,
can,
that's.
I can get the rates now for the interest rates for financing, but it's not until you purchase, do you get the actual fixed rate, you know? So I give you guys an
Well,
idea.
that and the real price. Somebody can,
Yeah, we have some of that information, yes.
I think that's going to be important to have at the town meeting.
Okay.
Okay, anything else for the good of the order? No? Okay. And at this time, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, is there a second? Okay, we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Aye, opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.